At the end of the last episode, Ina Ho and his friends were attacked by the Ver's knight, Femian. As their ship was about to be destroyed, Slane arrived just in time and saved them. Ina Ho is confused why a Martian sky carrier protected them, but he cooperates with Slane, and they are able to keep the flying arms away from the ship. One of the arms hits a cliffside on Tanegashima, revealing a hidden dock within. Knowing that the ship won't last long in the open, Captain Magbarage orders the ship to take shelter in the dock. The ship makes it inside and they destroy the entrance behind them, while Ina Ho, Yuki and Inko remain outside guarding the entrance. The crew decides to explore the hidden dock. They find a secret underground facility holding the remains of the Martian cataphract Marito fought 15 years ago on Tanegashima, as well as something else that shocks the crew. Outside, the fight continues. Deciding to take the fight directly to the Verse Knight, Ina Ho boards Slane's sky carrier. He figures out that the flying arms armor is weak at the engines and the palms. He exploits this weakness and destroys them. They manage to destroy all of the flying arms. Femian is angered, her cataphract transforms and she attempts to ram into Ina Ho and Slane. They struggle to avoid her, but a barrage of rockets from the island stops her in her tracks. A flying Martian battleship emerges from the hidden dock. Activated by Princess Salem, the ship smashes into Femian, destroying her cataphract and killing her. Slane is relieved he has found the princess, but after an exchange with Ina Ho about his intentions, Ina Ho shoots him down in believing that Slane might be planning to exploit the princess. After the fight, Ina Ho and the princess debrief with Captain Magbarage on the situation. With the Mars princess alive, they plan to head to the UFE headquarters where they can broadcast a message and hopefully end the war. Meanwhile, Slane is captured by Crucio and taken to his landing castle. Crucio tortures him to try and find out why Slane betrayed him as Sazbom watches. Unsure if Crucio was involved in the plot to assassinate Salem, Slane stays quiet. And throughout his torture he relives several flashbacks of his childhood with Salem back on Mars. Slane eventually reveals to Crucio that Salem is still alive and that the assassination plot was carried out by conspiring Martians. Shocked, Crucio realizes Slane's loyalty and immediately orders for treatment of his injuries. Crucio tries to contact the UFE and organize a ceasefire and search for the princess. He swears for vengeance on the traitors, but suddenly his castle is attacked by a Martian cataphract. Crucio recognizes it as Count Sazbom's cataphract. Realizing Sazbom was the mastermind behind the princess's assassination, Crucio calls for his own cataphract to fight, but is killed before he has the chance. Slane is captured, as the cataphract transforms and escapes. When Slane wakes up, he finds himself in Sazbom's castle. Sazbom admits that he is the one who conspired to have the princess killed so as to rekindle the war with Earth, but spared Slane because Slane's father had saved his life 15 years ago. Back on Earth, Rayet tries out the combat simulator, claiming she can pilot a cataphract because she plays a lot of video games. She does well, but a simulation of the cataphract that killed her father gives her PTSD. Later, Lieutenant Marito also has a go with the simulator to help with his trauma from 15 years ago. He has flashbacks to when a Martian cataphract single-handedly destroyed his entire battalion. His tank catches fire and his best friend is trapped, begging for him to put him out of his misery. He shoots his friend and blames himself for his death. Rayet stands in the shower, wondering how the princess can be so calm and why the events so far have occurred. She falls to her knees. She struggles to empathize with Salem. Princess Salem arrives in the showers. When she is alone, Rayet sneaks up from behind and strangles Salem with her own necklace. The princess suffocates and she falls to the floor unconscious. The ship experiences turbulence as the Aldnoah drive fails and the ship crashes down. Ina Ho finds Salem in the shower. He performs CPR and manages to revive her. She says she remembers being attacked, but Rayet suddenly appears from behind, grabbing Magbarage's pistol and holding everyone in the shower hostage. She reveals she is a Martian and her father was a spy that tried to kill Salem. She blames everything that has happened, including the death of her father, on Salem. The princess stands up from behind her shower cubicle and approaches Rayet at gunpoint. She falls to her knees apologizing to Rayet. Rayet shoots but is unable to bring herself to kill Salem. She then turns the gun on herself, prepared to end it all, but Ina Ho rushes in and disarms her. He says he doesn't care she is a Martian because they share the same enemy. Magbarage throws Rayet in the brig, then goes off to privately watch Marito's confession of how he shot her brother. Meanwhile, Sazbom reveals to Slane the reason the Ver's empire went to war with Earth. The people of Mars suffered from chronic problems of producing sufficient amounts of food and water on an environmentally hostile planet. The Emperor used war as a means of distraction from these problems. He tells Slane that 15 years ago he and his wife, Viscountess Orleans, joined the attack at Tanegashima, but as the hypergate went out of control and the moon exploded, debris from the moon came down, killing his wife. Back on Earth, the crew finally arrives at UFE headquarters. Asalem is grateful to Ina Ho for saving her life once again. Princess Asalem broadcasts a speech and calls to end all hostilities and reveals the truth of who tried to assassinate her. Sazbom tells Slain he has located Asalem thanks to the broadcast and that his allies have intercepted it and her message will never reach Mars. He then frees Slain, stating his debt to Slain's father has been paid. He then offers Slain two choices, either stay and fight with him or escape to Earth and be treated as an enemy. Sazbom's landing castle descends to Earth, landing near the UFE headquarters. The UFE forces attack the landing castle but are wiped out by missiles from the castle. The missiles also blast a path into the UFE's underground base. Sazbom launches his cataphract, entering the base, looking to kill Asalem. He is easily able to tear through the defensive lines of the UFE. Asalem is shocked that they are being attacked after her message of peace. She proposes that they transport her to the landing castle, where she can personally shut off its Aldnoah drive and cut off Sazbom's forces from their power source. With some help from Rayet, Asalem manages to reach the ship safely. They shoot their way out and ascend into the stratosphere. Ina Ho formulates a plan to drop Asalem to the landing castle from above while using unmanned dummy robots as cover for the castle's anti-air defenses. The operation commences as the dummy robots are deployed. They draw in the fire of the castle's anti-air defenses. Ina Ho follows behind the dummies, using them as shields. He is able to successfully land on the castle and launches a volley of missiles, taking out the anti-air guns. With the landing site secured, they signal Asalem to drop. Suddenly, Sazbom appears in front of the ship, attacking with a great barrage of missiles. The ship sustains heavy damage and begins to fall. With the original plan ruined, Magbaraj decides to deliver Asalem by ramming their falling ship into the castle. The crew aboard the ship are heavily injured with the ship now embedded into the castle. Yuki finds Asalem in the hull as Lieutenant Marito contacts them, telling them to continue with the mission. Asalem wakes up and finds herself in the back of Yuki's cataphract. Count Sazbom arrives in his cataphract and revealing to Asalem that he was the mastermind behind her assassination. Ina Ho tells Yuki and Inko to get the princess to the castle's Aldnoah drive while he holds off Sazbom. He trades attacks with Sazbom but soon realizes that Sazbom possesses the abilities of all the previous Martian cataphract. It has the shield that absorbs all attacks and wields the plasma sword. UFE cataphract open fire and support Ina Ho but are instantly wiped out. Slain gets into Count Crucio's cataphract which Sazbom had obtained after killing him. Unfortunately, the machine is unpowered and Slain is disheartened. But suddenly, its Aldnoah drive is activated, surprising Slain as he should have no activation factor. Ina Ho comes smashing through the castle wall as his fight with Sazbom continues. Yuki and Inko open fire but it is ineffective against the barrier. As blood runs down Ina Ho's face, he tells Inko to run. Sazbom rocket punches her but Ina Ho takes the chance to shoot the socket where the arm connects. Using the knowledge of the weak spots from the previous encounters, he is able to gain the upper hand. He severely damages Sazbom, but before he can finish him off, Slain appears and tackles him. At this moment the power is cut as Asalem managed to reach Decor and shut it down. Ina Ho and Slain crash through the wall to where Asalem is. Slain climbs out of his cataphract while Asalem assists Ina Ho who is unconscious. As the princess helps Ina Ho out of the cockpit, she is shot and apparently killed by Sazbom. After witnessing much horror, Slain turns around to find Count Sazbom with his smoking gun, who thanks Slain for saving him. Heavily outraged, Slain pulls out his gun and shoots Count Sazbom repeatedly until his pistol jams. As he tears up, Count Sazbom is still alive,